Howdy. Is everybody out here? I don't know. I don't know everybody here. I guess I probably should. I know an awful lot of you. But my name's Ray Ma.
I remember you
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Gary.
Bill and I. Oh, Gary?
And Ruth.
Gary, that was Gary Hines. Yeah.
That's way back machine.
That was dealing cards in the
Candy cane.
table.
We're talking about Bill now.
I know.
Gary's been gone quite a while.
Yep. God rest his soul.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I wrote a book about my adventures with your brother. I mean, brother, niece, uncle, whatever, I know. So I'll just go with what I got here. So I'm Ray, honored to be here. Welcome everyone. We're here to remember. So I didn't even know Bill was a scrivener until probably high school. He was always been it. So William Alton Scribner, also known as Bill Bennett. So that's how I knew Bill my whole life, pretty much. I think he took the Scribner name on when he actually went into service. He actually had to use his legal name.
Yeah.
So, and now that he did a year too soon, in my opinion, but he did it anyway. So, even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil, for you are with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. Psalms 23.4. That was Bill. Bill had a strong belief in God his entire life. Psalms 90:12. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Every life has a purpose in God's plan. We celebrate how Bill's life honored God through faith and love. Even in grief, we remember the impact of a life well lived. Bill lived his life his way. And he really did. If you didn't like what he had to say, too bad. That's just the way it was. He wasn't that way a whole lot with me, but there were occasions where we might have a few too many drinks, and it might turn into an arm wrestling match or a headbutt match or something really crazy. A lot of broken tables, all sorts of things like that. But let us remember how Bill made those days count through acts of kindness, love of family, and unwavering faith. Bill demonstrated God's goodness. We grieve today, but we also rejoice because we know that a life lived in faith does not end in death. Jesus said in John 11:25, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. Bill is now with the Lord, free from his pains. Bill left us to be with the Lord on March 14th. He had just turned 69 years old. Bill was living in, I'm probably going to butcher this word, Manaus, Amazon, Brazil, at the time of his death. Bill was a very adventurous guy. He made trips there in the past and enjoyed it so much that he decided to move there after his retirement. In my life, I've had very few true friends. Bill was one of them. To make it better, he was a child friend. I met Bill when he was, I think we were second graders or third graders. I'm not real sure. Well, you guys were there before we got there. Second or third grade? You remember? Anyway, and we remain lifelong friends. Say what you want about AJ. It's the only way to have old friends. So I have one less old friend. I really, to this day, I really only have two. Bill and, you guys remember Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell the story, and I'll tell it today because So one friend was crazy, and that was Bill. And Kevin thought he was Jesus. So now I only have one friend left. And the reason I say Bill was crazy is I always called him shithouse crazy. Because he just sold everything and moved away. And just took up roots somewhere else. To me, that shithouse crazy. To Bill, that's just Bill. That's the way he was. And now he's gone, so that leaves me with Jesus. And I don't know where Jesus is at these days. I haven't seen him in a long time. Children make childlike friendships that last a lifetime. I have been so blessed to have Bill in my life. I didn't think I was going to have this problem. But anyway. To have Bill in my life, I will cherish the times we've had together for the rest of my life. As children, we played all over Maltby, the woods, the railroad tracks, trips to Maltby Mercantile, the only little store that was within walking distance. Our family was not as large as Bill's, but every one of us had a friend at the business. Pretty cool stuff. Growing up in Maltby was the best. Lots of good families, Bennett's, Rusnecks, Reed, Smiths. I go on and on. But most of them all lived in our, what we would call our neighborhood, country block. Back then, Broadway was a gravel road. There wasn't any paved at the time. None of the roads were paved. As young adults, we got cars. And I just got to see a picture of Bill's Chevy after he got done driving it. It was not drivable anymore. And then we spun around in the donuts and banged into cars. And finally, there was not much left of it. But anyway, as young adults, we got cars, and then things changed. Bill, I, and Kevin would race those cars all around the back roads of Maltby, Echo Lake, Cathcart, Clareview, Monroe. When we run off the road, which is kind of common, Bill would call it cleaning the ditches. And he's like, well, the town's not doing it, we gotta do it. And the way we managed that is if we were going fast enough, we continued down the ditch line until we got off. And I can't tell you how many times that happened. It was, sometimes it was the last, it was more scary when Bill was behind the wheel than I was behind the wheel.
I was gonna say.
And so we survived it. So obviously we had an angel on our shoulders. That was the only way we could have got through this time. Because they were crazy times. Bill decided he wanted to go in the Navy, so he did. He went in 1974 and returned in 1979. Then Bill came home and married, had 2 children, Billy and Melissa. Once Bill got home from the Navy, he wanted to go back to school. He wanted to go back to playing mechanic. So, of course, we were all broke. Everybody was broke. So he had no money, but he brought back this old hot rod from California with him. Old Chevy Impala. He brought back from California when he returned from the Navy. That he said he would sell me for $600. I think it was $600. Might have been $800. I don't remember. So neither Bill nor I had any money, but Leo had money. Well, Leo was not going to give Bill any money. No way. But Leo would give me the money to give to Bill as long as I paid Leo back. So that was our agreement. Leo gave me the money, I gave the money to Bill, Bill went back to school. So the agreement was every week after payday, I would have to come and sit with Leo at the kitchen table. It was used on Saturday, we got paid on Friday. Saturday mornings I would come over, give him $100, and he would chew my ear off. Then I'd go about my way, and 6 weeks later, I was able to take it off. Until then, it stayed at the house. But anyway, that agreement worked out for all of us. felt like he did the right thing. I felt like I did the right thing, and Bill did the right thing as well. So I guess along the journey of life, we do some things that are right. Sometime after that, Bill went to work at Boeing. He worked there for 25 years, retiring at the age of 55. Bill was always bugging me to retire and come down and stay with him. I did not get to do that. But Bill and I had many adventures all along the walk of life. Trips to Apple Blossom, lots of campouts, way too many parties. Just before we left for the Amazon, we had a chance to go on a motorcycle ride. All around the same roads that we traveled as kids and young adults. Bill had a crazy sense of humor. Depending on the day, you wanted to be careful with the sense of humor. On our trip to the Apple Blossom, it was very late at night. We were driving down an old stretch of road around midnight. And I'm driving this old Pinto car, and got the radio up. It's dark out. Of course, we've been doing things we should have been doing, but we were doing about 60 miles an hour, and Bill, he just decided something's going to really have a blast. So what's Bill do? He grabs the e-brake. Woo, woo! We just started spinning in circles. Holy shit! I thought we were all going to die. It was just the two of us in the car. So it seemed like forever. So finally, now we're back to the ditch again. After we were still spinning, but I'd lost control, and we went down to the ditch and back up the other side, and we're in an apple orchard, and they have a big road around the apple orchards over on the other side of the mountains. And by now, I've got the light on, and Bill hasn't stopped laughing since he pulled the e-brake. He is still laughing, thinking this is the funniest thing in the world that's ever happened. I mean, we could have been killed, and he would still been laughing. Two shits to him. So anyway, we go up the road and through the ditch and up into the apple orchard. And Bill is laughing the whole time. All right, but it gets better. So as we're sitting there trying to gather our thoughts, a stater sees us with the lights on, dome light on, and we're sitting there. I think I was beating on him or something. I can't remember. But we were having a little discussion in the car. So the staters, come up and, what are you guys doing in here? I don't know how we got here, And so anyway, we'd broken a branch off of one of the trees. Just, a little tiny thing. And this guy, he is so upset. There's two staters. And so he runs half mile down the road and wakes a farmer up at midnight. The farmer comes out, thinks we've taken out his whole orchard. Farmer gets to the tree and he looks at the tree and he picks up the little branch and says, "You woke me up for this?" And he just shoots those guys a minute. And he says, "Just get these boys out here." So off the old farmer goes back to bed. It's kind of sad we woke him up. It wasn't my fault. They could have just assessed the situation and went, no damage, I think that's the reason they didn't take us to jail, is because we were not on the street any longer. We were on private property. But anyway, the stater went on and told us, he says, "Okay, boys, just follow us up the street." So up the street we went, and there was a little turnout there. You guys don't move from the spot. We're going to see you here in the morning. That shit didn't happen. We took off. All I remember is waking up in the morning in some wheat field. Couldn't even see the car. The grass was so tall. And we were sitting out in the middle of this field somewhere. Anyway, that was a heck of a trip. Bill was survived by his son and daughter, Billy and Melissa, his grandchildren, Noah and Emma, his mom, Mrs. Bennett, his sisters, Angela, Rebecca, Deanna, Jennifer, Priscilla, Sally, Charlie, Andy, Tim, along with many nieces and nephews. Leo passed before Bill, so he's gone. I've been all around this world and trying to get to heaven before they close the doors. Bill has no worries. Even if they had closed the doors, St. Peter would have opened them to let him in. As one of the Greek poets once said, the difficulty is not so great to die for a friend has defined a friend worth dying for. And Bill was that kind of friend to me. I will miss you, Bill. That's what I got.
Good job,
Good
Ray.
job.